welcome back to the fourth quarter with Gary and my co-host Tay.
Yes, it's me, Tay, in the house.
In the house, in the flesh, and I want to congratulate my brother-in-law on his new arrival, a baby girl. I'm gonna let him talk to you about that for a minute.
Yes, my new baby girl just arrived March 10th. Miss Desiree Amanda Wash. She was born at 5 a.m., weighed 7 pounds, and she was 19 inches long. So just had to give a shout out to my baby girl.
Definitely. Congratulations. We old now, man. We got kids. We just old daddies, man. Fathers. It's funny how time fly. But anyway, let's get back to the subject matter of the 2010 NCAA tournament. If you're like me, your brackets are screwed up. Mine's been screwed up since yesterday's game, probably the first game. But man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, what was your biggest upset? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I started off pretty good, man. I was perfect until that Georgetown, Ohio game. That screwed me up. Georgetown in Ohio, I gotta say that was the biggest upset. I mean, you had most of you IU fans would love this, but you probably wouldn't love it because he's not there no more. But you guys had Amon Bassett for Ohio. He scored 32 points on Georgetown. I mean, Georgetown just didn't look like they knew what was going on. I mean, they just really bust their heads, and screwed up a lot of people's brackets.
Yeah, including mine. I didn't see that coming. Even though I had Ohio State, I still have Ohio State to get to the Final Four, and we'll talk about the Final Four a little later. A lot of people had Georgetown to even beat Ohio State, and they didn't get past Ohio. Who was it that had Georgetown to beat Ohio State?
Had Georgetown making it to the final game against Kentucky.
Yeah, well, I still have Kentucky going all the way to with Ohio State. But, yeah, that was definitely the biggest upset. But I want to talk about a game yesterday in the first round, the Villanova game. I think they definitely should have lost. They definitely got cheated. Well, Robert Morris got cheated, rather. The officials was calling some just horrible foul calls in the end. It was horrible.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't see most of that game because I was working. But I did hear about it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I heard that Scotty Reynolds got a lot of calls that wasn't justified. It was basically like superstar calls. And then, you have Robert Morris, a small college, just, happy to be in the tournament. And I feel like, if they doing their job and, close to the upset, I feel like the refs shouldn't take it away from them,
Definitely. And that's exactly what they did. I think Scotty Reynolds was like maybe 2 of 16 for the whole game. But he shot like 16 free throws or something like that. Only missed one, I believe. And that was pretty much the difference, just the horrible calls at the end. But what else stuck out to you yesterday? I'm trying to think what else.
Well, yesterday, another game that stuck out to me, I gotta say, was
I had St. Mary's beating Richmond. That wasn't really upset, but a lot of people had Richmond to beat St. Mary's. I'm trying to see what else.
Richmond, I actually had Richmond beating St. Mary's. I got that one wrong because I thought that they would do it because of this guard they have named Anderson. He's pretty good. He won Conference Player of the Year, and I think they're in the MAC, the MAAC. And
MAC.
He won the Conference Player of the Year in that conference.
And that's another reason why that Georgetown game was the biggest upset, because Ohio came in 9th in the MAC, and they put it on Georgetown. Another game yesterday, everybody knows I'm a Wisconsin guy, and that's my team right there. But I also like Marquette. And they got out-rebounded terribly yesterday. Washington out-rebounded them, and they kept putting up second and third shots, and that's the reason why Marquette lost. They blew a lead too. It was pretty disappointing because, like I said, I'm a Marquette fan. They should have won the game. Lazar Hayward played pretty good, but if you let a team get second and third shots and rebounds and stuff, it's really difficult. So that game kind of stuck out to me. I'm trying to see what else.
Well, brother, I have something on that game too. Unfortunately, I picked Marquette to lose to Washington. In my bracket, because Washington is a very athletic team. We had this little good point guard named Isaiah Thomas, who's, I guess, maybe named after my idol, Isaiah Lord Thomas III, the NBA player that used to play for Detroit Bad Boys. But He's good and he's athletic, and then they have their star player. His name is I think it's Pondexter. Quincy. Quincy Pondexter. He basically hit the game-winning shot
pretty much
on Marquette. But they, battled like back and forth the whole game, and it just came down to that final play where it was an ISO 1-on-1. And Pondexter took it to the bucket and won the game.
Yeah, it was a couple of game winners yesterday. The guy from Siena hit one. It was a pretty good shot. But I want to talk about the Florida game also. Florida disappointed me. I had them to win, and it went to double overtime, so it was a pretty good game. But they couldn't rebound either, and they had their chances to win in the first overtime and the second overtime, and they just threw up some of the most horrible shots you've ever seen. It was crazy. And my brother tried to warn me about the guard from BYU. I forget his name, but I'm pretty sure my brother knows, right?
Oh, yeah. He plays BYU. His name is Jimmer. It's a weird name. Jimmer Ferret. He had 37 points last night, man.
Jimmer Ferret.
He's no joke. He could shoot. He could go to the basket. He could get his free throws. I mean, he lit them up for 37 points. I picked BYU, too, to win that game. But I gotta say, besides him, the player that made a lot of plays in the game was a guy named Lloyd Jr. He's a guard. He comes.
Hey, we're giving these guys too much credit, man.
Lloyd. He comes off the bench, but he made a lot of big plays. Me and my wife were in the car, we were listening to it, and he was making plays in overtime. He had a lot of crucial shots.
I tried to tell my brother to get that Flow TV because he missed pretty much all the good games yesterday. But he's a busy man, so we won't get on him too much for that. But we talked about. Is there any other games? Because we talked about a lot of busters yesterday, and if there is any more games,
I would like to talk about my Boilers.
The Boilers. Well, that was today. We're talking about tomorrow. We'll get to the Boilers. We'll get to the Boilers in Wisconsin. But
okay,
who looked the most impressive yesterday? I think Kentucky did.
I would agree with you. Kentucky.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do. You know about John Wall. You know about DeMarcus Cousins. But there's another super freshman, Eric Bledsoe, and he had like 28, I believe. He had 8 3-pointers, and they basically just couldn't control him. So he's another weapon that Kentucky has, and I've been watching Kentucky all year, and I got them in the Final Four too. Like I said, we'll mention the Final Four picks and locks and everything later, but they're going to the Final Four, definitely. And it's crazy I'm saying that because they might play, but who knows? But right now, yeah, Kentucky was definitely the most dominant team yesterday, scoring 100 points. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, I got a sleeper for you. Watch out for Northern Iowa, and watch out for Cornell. These small schools, they got shooters, and they got all the fundamentals, and that helps win a lot of games and causes a lot of upsets. So watch out for Cornell and Northern Iowa.
All right, well, let's talk about our teams today. Big Ten teams, Wisconsin and Purdue. First, we'll talk about Purdue because a lot of people had y'all going down to Siena. Y'all were the 4th seed. Siena was 13, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people had y'all, pick for Siena to upset y'all. But y'all took your business, so I'll let you speak on that a little bit.
Well, to be honest, all Boiler fans out there, coming to this tournament, we all a little down about Robbie Hummel, and we clearly see that they can't really play and function without Hummel in there. I mean, if you go back and look at the horrible loss in the Big Ten tournament, I mean, they just came out and didn't give anything.
Horrible loss.
6 in that Gopher game. The Gopher game was horrible. I mean, 37-11 at the half. I mean, there was no fight or nothing in them. And, me as a Boiler fan, that drove me nuts. And all the Boiler fans I talked to, we all just talked about the same thing, how they seem to have no fight, no energy, no life without Robbie Hummel. And I feel like one man shouldn't have break down the whole team like that because one man go down.
I agree with you. And to the rest of the Purdue fans, maybe you can talk to them, more about this than me because I'm a Badgers fan. But at what point do you get over the Robbie Hummel not being there now? I mean, I know Coach Painter's got his guys over, but when do the fans and the rest of the people in the media, everybody get over that he's not playing this year, and so they can just relax their minds and try to make a go of it?
I think it's hard for.
I mean, obviously it worked today, but I think
it's hard for us all as Boiler fans to get over it because, this